should be uploading now. I wonder if there's a message. And I apologize, but this is the first time I'm running this test, so I would like to know. And it's also time you gotta take a coffee break once in a while. Alright, it doesn't look like it's working. I would expect to see the... I don't know how long it takes for the video. Oh, okay, great. So it looks like... Okay. It looks like it's working. Isn't that nice? If someone's interested, just let me know. You can email me and I'll give you the script. Or you can just screen capture it. Just pause the frame, because it was a very short script and I showed it all on just a few minutes ago. Alright, so now what I would like to do is we have to create that growing motion. So here we are stealing the shooter entity by looking at our game state, which hosts a bunch, which has a just pretty much a vector of all the entities, and we call the fire method on the one that exists and the one that is a shooter entity, and that essentially creates the new blob. Okay. But as I said, we don't want a shooter entity. We want something more like a microphone looking thing that outputs a constant stream until the thing stops. So I think we should clone the shooter class and create a new class called microphone. How about that? Yeah. So there are steps to this, so I'm going to write them down because they're kind of long. Create mic entity class. It looks too much like mice entity, but it'll be in camel case. Create mic entity. Next step is to add start, onset. That's not a good one. Start, output, okay, how about start input and end input? And once we add those, we can simply add them to our update onset offset calls. Yep. And these will essentially say start drawing and keep increasing the length until an input is called. Is that all we need? That seems pretty simple. I think that's it. Yeah, so let's take a look at the shooter class, because I don't know what it looks like, to be honest. It's been a long time. I know that it will have a bunch of drawing, probably mostly drawing stuff. Alright, so why did I open it in here? Anyway, it is a somewhat short class. There's not a lot of calls, and they're mostly OpenGL calls for the translation and drawing. There's also the rotation issue, if you remember. I think I want to keep that stuff in there because it might be useful for adjusting the input volume, for example. That might be something we want the user to be able to have. In any case, it's not going to hurt. So what I can do at first is not worry about the graphics. just keep it the same way. And we essentially have to split this fire command up into two different calls. Now let's see. Yeah, it's not going to be too bad. Next thing we want to do is... No, that's all we're going to do. Okay, so this is a good enough class. We don't even have to clone it, but I don't want to rewrite all this drawing stuff. I am doing really weird things with the graphics. I am... Instead of using images, like pre-recorded images or something, like a JPEG or a picture of a texture, I'm generating them on the fly by using some signal processing math. That's why they all look a little noisy. To get a picture of a mic, I'll probably not do that, but that's why this class is a little complicated. Anyway, let's see if I can just copy and paste within Xcode. There's a duplicate call, I think, a lot at some point. No duplicate. No duplicate. So before, last time I was talking about how painful it is to change, just psychologically painful it is to change the name of an object already committed to source code. For some reason, just copying... Sorry, I have to type. For some reason, just copying... what's that called? Mic input. That's what we're calling it, right? Mic entity, sorry. Mics are inputs, so that's kind of redundant. But mic entity makes sense. Okay. For some reason, copying and re-adding things, adding things to source control isn't painful. That's what it is. Okay, so we got our class. Let me add it to the Xcode thing right away. Because why not? We're going to have to do it at some point. How do you add? There used to be add existing files when you right-clicked. Okay, there still is. I was about to throw a fit. So where is that? That's in... It's in my network drive, mchinen, scm, voicer, classes, mic entity. Great. Alright, so now we've got the shooter thingamabob added. So what we're going to do is open it up. First we have to make it right because it's using, it still says shooter where it should say what is the name of this class? Mic entity. Yeah. Alright, mic entity. Let's do it. there aren't too many places I have to change, and that's kind of nice. Again, most of the code for like collision detection and such is in the previous, the superclasses. One thing that's going to be an issue is that the size is also in the superclasses. Let's see if we can get away without dealing with that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm editing the wrong file. Okay, let's open the right file this time. Not shooter.h. Mic entity.h. Yes. Okay, shooter. Shooter texture with gem. Alright, I'm going to change that. Generate. Okay. So the other one's the M file. Let's do a search for shooter and replace what we can with mic entity. We shouldn't need any reference to the shooter call itself. Alright, looks like there's not too many references to the word shooter. Here, this is an important one. I'm still going to call that shooter text. I can fix that later. Last shoot time. Last shoot time. Last shoot time still makes sense. The correct... I could subclass shooter, but I don't want to do that for some reason. I don't think there's going to be too much in common in the end, and I still might want something that shoots stuff. That's the reason. Alright, that looks like we're good. Now we just have to change fire, pick the fire class, and split it up. So we definitely want to add the instance. Crap. Crap. Nah, this should be okay. For now we can still use a sign block. I was about to say, yeah, we need to use the new recorded objects first, otherwise we're going to have to come back. And yeah, we will have to come back, but it's not a big deal. All we have to do is keep calling this a sign block. So this part isn't going to change. I'm just going to rename this, what was the call called? Start input. This is why I like Emacs. I can just look over from the left to the right and see what I need to do. But look at my Xcode window. It's just one big blob. I couldn't do much with it. So instance, yeah, I know you can split the view up left and right, but it doesn't feel so flexible. Nothing really changes. Alright, so I'm gonna need to work on the mic entity.h file at the same time. We're not done because we need to change, for example, fire to what should we call that? We will call that, how about damn it, I just totally spaced.